Welcome back to Income Trading 101. Today is May the 26th, 2021. Tonight I wanted to take a look at fuboTV. If you're a sports fan, you probably know this one. They live stream a lot of different sports on different television shows. Fubo Sports Network. I actually wasn't too familiar with it, to be quite honest, but it had a pretty wild, a pretty nice day of trading, up nearly 13% today, 12.95%. So wanted to take a look at it and see what there is to see if there are any trades that I like on this one. So let's go ahead and just see how much data we've got in this. Looks like we're gonna pull this. Wow, this thing has wow, it's oh, jeez, you've got to be kidding me. Whoa, this thing, sorry to get quiet on you guys. I don't know if you can see up here where I've got the arrows. In a minute, it's going to show you, look at that, a high of 6,057, a low of 3,900. I guess this was the day it listed. And it closed at $5,100. Like, whoa, that is crazy. Look how far off it came back there in 2015. So, wow. And considering, like, I'm sorry, I'm a little shocked. I've never actually seen this. The opening day was so high, and there was such a wide expanse that the volatility that's happened more recently, you can't even see. That is pretty wicked. So we're going to expand that on out to 1 year essentially worth of data and try and put this at a scale that will let us make some sense of it. Wow. And even back here, in let's see, this would have been December 22nd, we saw this thing hit a more recent high of $62.29 before it came on off and went back up. This is a volatile little stock. Volatile little stock. So let's dive in like we always do. You might think, oh, well, on something with this much volatility, surely we're not going to start with the moving average. Nope, we're starting with the moving averages just so we can get a sense of where this thing has been in hopes of finding out where it might be going. So always love it because I've always traded assets that were considered to be volatile. And you look at a stock like this that has had such volatility in a span of, 5.5 years. And, it's hard to imagine people saying that, oh, stock are far less volatile than, say, derivatives or something like that. I mean, this would have been a lot of fun actually to trade options on. Anyway, right now, as I look at the moving averages, you can see that the 10-day, which is our green, is in between the red and the red line, which is our 20-day moving average, and then the yellow, which is our 60. So no clear signal here. Definitely a period of convergence. Let's go ahead and switch out to the 1 hour and see if that gives us any more information. And sorry in advance, I'm going to have to play with the scale of these just to make sure we can see a little change in the stock price, because I mean these are significant moves happening. Definitely more than a little bit of price movement. So right now in the 1 hour, we're seeing a bullish trend with the 10 period higher than the 20, higher than the 60. And let's check out the 30-minute, also bullish as well. And the 15 might actually be more bearish because price coming off in the last hour and a half or so. But still, nope, I was completely wrong. Price here is still very much bullish. So we have bullish signals in everything other than the daily chart. What is interesting with the 15-minute though is that our 10 period is starting to slope down um, as price slopes down, but that can easily be resolved with one or two upward ticks tomorrow or when the market opens back up, and you'll see this thing really appear to be even more bullish than it already is. So let's go ahead and get into our MACD at the 1 day level and just see what we see ultimately. I was looking earlier at some of the other, momentum oscillators. You've got things like stochastics you can look at. Will give you an output similar. You can look at the RSI, which is similar. They all tell you a slightly different story, but it's more like variations on a theme rather than a different song, if that makes sense. So definitely seeing a bullish crossover. We had a bullish crossover back on April the 9th. And then it's sort of oscillating to where it's just about to go positive. The MACD, which is the blue line, and the signal line, the red line, appear like they're going to be going bullish here shortly, which I say it's bullish when it crosses the 0 line. Let's look at the hourly and see what we see there. So the hourly has been bullish since May 11th. Pull that a little bit so you can see it a little better. There we go. And just oscillating in its bullishness. It had a bearish cross, but both signal lines did not, or both lines did not go negative. Just the MACD before it pulled higher again, and obviously had another crossover on this last uptrend. Let's take a look at the 30-minute and see if that. So yeah, 30-minute. When we have, so this is the bullish crossover I would count back on May 11th. The rest of these oscillations, other than this point here on May 19th, where it did actually go negative for a little bit, that probably would have shaken me out. But these oscillations here are not, I do not trust the signal until, so for me to trust the signal in the MACD, it has to cross in one particular region, either positive or negative, meaning clearly above or clearly below the 0 line. And then I want both the signal line and the MACD line to go from positive to negative, or like over here, from negative to positive. Otherwise, these lines can just sort of oscillate for a while and send a lot of false signals that will ultimately cost you money. And then finally, in the 15-minute, we actually have a crossover, but again, I don't trust these. I won't look at this as a sell signal until we cross over negative. Like here, we had a clear sell signal on May the 18th, and it crossed negative the very next day with this gap lower. Probably would not have been able to trade that because of the way it traded. And the MACD again is not. It tells you some information, but you really have to get used to using each of these indicators to see what's going to work best for you. So let's just, since we are here, we might as well do a little Fibonacci retracement. Always love that because sometimes the Fibonacci retracement will actually will make, let's pull this out to a year or two. What it'll do is it'll end up making your levels, some of your levels sometimes show a little bit better. So I'm going to go from trough to top, back to trough, more or less. Stop that there. And we can see that given this bullish pattern that we had back in 2020, really Q2, 3, and 4 of 2020, and we had in Q1 this sort of volatility, but now we've come well on off. We've actually crossed the 78.6% retracement in this company, and we're bouncing off of that, which is kind of interesting. Went through it just briefly and went on, and now we're pushing higher. I am going to see, do we see anything else that would be of note. I just want to stretch this out a little bit so we can see. Is the 38.2%. And it really wasn't significant. Neither were. So none of these were really overly significant. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and see if we can make any more sense of this here little company. So I have in my daily trading, it's been interesting looking more at channels. I love finding, and I actually don't like the way I just drew that. I love information channels, trading channels, price channels, because that way I can see what all is going on in the name, and it actually lets me know clearly when a move has ended, right? So when you see it clearly break out of a one of these channels, it's like game over. Arguably, I could drop that down there, and then do one more, maybe two if we're nice. Yeah, these are all really interesting. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. It does appear to be pulling higher. The other thing I don't talk about as much on this, on our analysis here, but I do like to look at time as well. So I'll look at things like the length of time that it remained in an upward move versus the length of time. Oh, not sure what just happened. Sorry about that. My computer decided to take over because I hit a button. I like looking at the length of time. So let's say we have from March the 9th through March the 15th, we had an upward move. So that would be what? So 15 minus 9 is 6. Plus we're going to count the 9th. So that's going to be 7 days of upward movement. Here we had, this from this low on the 19th through, it had higher highs, 19th to the 26th, 7 days plus. I'm just gonna say 7 days because one of the days ended up being red, and then from May 11th until the 26th, 15 days. So this has already gone twice its period. Now I could count a shorter period and say that this little piece from the 20th until really today was just another down movement. But it just depends. I mean, I do like the way this looks though. Let's see if I can draw this out for you. It'd help if I actually, nope. There we go. I'll just draw. So there's that. I think this overall has some room for growth. I'm not certain that it's going to have a full retracement back to its April lows. Anyone who owns this stock should definitely be aware of that, though. We've already had a pullback in this that's very significant. This is very significant. So, could we end up seeing $8 or even worse, starting to see closer to $6? Yes, it's possible. Anything is possible at this point, but if we can get this upward move, this bullish period actually appears to be twice as long as any of the other bullish periods we've seen this year, other than let's see, 21st, 20th through the 26th. Okay, so this period right here really from January the 5th through, we'll call it February the 5th, so almost for the whole month, was upward, even though we saw a couple of periods of pullback. Right now, we've been downward with some periods of pullback. So hopefully, I mean, if you're an owner of this stock, you're definitely hoping that this upside is going to last and that it's going to push higher. And, I really don't expect this current price level to be that much of resistance. So I think the stock could actually pull higher and move forward. If I were going to play this and I didn't want to put forth a lot of capital to buy the stock, I guess stock itself, 100 shares would only be, $2,372. So not too bad. But if I were going to play it otherwise, I might consider looking at options. You can always do things like buying out of the money call options, buying call spreads, selling puts and put spreads, and just seeing sometimes you could sell those to finance your calls. So it really just depends on your risk tolerance and what you expect to see in this name. But it looks like for now we might see some higher prices in the coming days, especially after such a strong day today. That is it. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. I know I keep asking, but I'm really excited to see the channel grow in numbers, and actually going to be doing a few more things to promote the channel as well. So thank you guys who have been my faithful listeners, and I look forward to sharing another video with you soon. All right. Take care. Happy trading.